Hello everyone, welcome to Urbanscape Bangalore, and in this episode we will be talking about an exotic tropical flowering plant, the Medinilla, Myriantha, or the Malaysian ground orchid. This is native to the Philippines and it is also called the Philippine orchid. This is a semi-epiphyte, meaning that it can grow in a mixture of soil and orchid medium. The plant is grown for its striking pendulous blooms that change color and form over time. The plant belongs to the Melastomataceae family and is not related to the cinnamon plant. Also, this is not a true orchid. This plant can grow up to 6 feet high, and you can see here that in such a small pot, the plant has grown this big already. The leaves are really big and they are found in the tropical forests under the shade of big trees. The flowers grow in clusters called panicles. The plant parts, I think, are not edible. Now let's look at some growing conditions of this plant and look at some of its striking features. Sunlight. The plant likes dapple shade and keeping it under full sun can burn the plant. Growing this outdoors is better than treating this as an indoor plant, so a balcony setting would be ideal. Watering. During summer, the soil needs to be kept consistently wet but not soaking in water. During winter, you can water when you see the soil becoming dry. Humidity. Now this could determine the blooming to quite a few extent. Give this ample humidity by spraying the leaves with water or by just keeping it next to other plants or a water source. Pests. I presume this is largely pest resistant because I've had this plant for more than 5 months now and I haven't seen any pest problems so far. If you have this plant and are grappling with a pest problem, then do let us know. Repotting. So when you buy the plant, I would suggest you don't repot it immediately and repot it once it finishes blooming and when the weather outside is a little warm. Do not repot this during winter. I will show you the actual repotting the next year. Potting mix. So like I told you earlier, this plant is semi-epiphytic, so they require the best of both worlds in terms of a good, well-draining potting mix. So a good mix according to me will be 30% compost, 20% sand, 20% charcoal pieces, 30% cocoa chips. Additionally, you can add broken pot pieces, gravel or fine grit if you have. The compost is enough to give it the nutrients to begin its journey in your garden. Relocation. This plant hates being relocated and I learnt it the hard way. My first tryst with this plant was way back in 2015 or so when I bought this from a nursery in Wayanad. I kept relocating this and the plant died in shock. So once you buy this, make up your mind on where this plant must be placed and keep it there. Propagation. This is primarily propagated using stem cuttings. Seeds I'm not quite sure as of now since this is a relatively new plant, so what I will do is cover the propagation bit in another video. For this very fact, I think garden YouTubing is so nice because you will never run out of topics. Fertilizing. I would suggest you add a lot of compost and kitchen waste during the summer months. Add banana peel as much as you want to increase blooming. Pruning. You can prune dead bloom stalks and that would induce further blooming in this plant. So let's look at some of the best things about growing this plant. Let's start with the blooms. The blooming starts with these pearl-like baby pink blooms that over time will branch out and produce a more purplish pink bloom, and after the blooms wither off, you get a more crimson berry that may or may not have seeds in them. I will need to review this aspect of this plant in the coming days. The plant started blooming for me in the month of October and the blooming can seem perpetual because of its long-lasting nature, just like your traditional orchids. The blooms are not fragrant. This is not a cold hardy plant, so people living in colder climes with frost may have to overwinter this. The new leaves also have a slight brown to red color before turning green. So folks, I'm just learning about this plant and its various traits, and this learning process is what excites me as a gardener. The fact that your garden will keep teaching you something new every day is the best incentive for all of us plant lovers to welcome a new dawn. With this, we've come to the end of yet another episode of Urbanscape Bangalore, and I really hope you enjoyed this particular episode. Additionally, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. The links are given below. Thank you for watching, and until we meet again, a very warm goodbye.